You are now entering the Rawrrzone.
What's up, boys? Your homegirl, Ivy, Katie, whatever you want to call me. Just talk to me nice because we are here and we are proud as our new sponsors for Rawrrzone Media and the Road to the Give Back is powered by Future Proof Music School. Artists, producers, if you're serious about music and your craft, it's time to start guessing and start growing. With industry leaders like John Van Segem and Prototype, Future Proof is changing the game with a new kind of music education, where AI meets real mentorship to help level you up faster. We're talking about 24/7 AI coaches, personalized learning paths, and real producers guiding you every step of the way. So you're not just learning, you're building your sound and you're building your career. Guys, no more wasting time on those random tutorials. This is about intentional growth, build for the future of this industry. Tap in right now, start your 14-day free trial, and lock in your subscription. This is more than a class, this is the next level. Follow them, click on their photo on our website, and of course, tap it with them.
You locked into Chicago's #1 for hits, FFAB 94.5, The Hits.
Let's get back to the mix.
PUSO 82.3 FM, we're the independent artists. Now streaming on all smart TVs. Decide the Live 365 channel and search PUSO. PUSO 82.3 FM, where the independent artists are the stars.
You're now listening to the Evening Rush Network.
Rolling over the Golden Gate, city waking up, hear the trolley brakes. Started where the corner boys to the orchestrate. Dreams in the concrete trying to generate. Now it's rooftop views by the waterline. Now it's champagne toast while the skylight shine. From the scope to the world, yeah, the stars align, huh? I'm 20 summers in, yeah, it's perfect timing. Yeah, mama said move smooth, never chase a shine. Now it's cognac glass in my cufflink shining. From the blocks to the church, yeah, it's perfect alignment. Now the whole city moving when I'm rhyming. DJ, let it breathe real slow. Let the horns come in, let the live drums roll. That's that cookout classic with a global glow. Dance like it's 92, y'all. Let's go. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said, hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said, hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day. Yeah, sun's out, shades on, feeling real cool. Slide to the function like I made all the rules. DJ spin it back, don't play it low. If it ain't got that bounce in the party, don't move. Hold up, who got the vibe on lock? Got the crowd hella lit when the beat drop. Got two-stepping out his flip-flops. Auntie's all feeling, but she's still on top. I'm like, wait, let me talk my talk. I'm a smooth operator when I hit that walk. From the phone 1-5 where we mobbing floss. Now the whole world copy how the bass just talk. Left side bounce, right side lean. If you feel that slap, go and step on the scene. When I step on the stage, whole crowd go yay. From the phone 1-5, let me hear y'all say. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day. When I say two-step, you say slide. Two-step, two-step. When I say old school, you say vibe. Old school, old school. When I say two-step, you say slide. Two-step, two-step. When I say old school, you say vibe. Old school, old school. Slide on them, glide on them. Keep it playing my when we ride on them. From the 415 to the globe. Dance like it's 92, let's go. I said slide on them, glide on them. Keep it playing my when we ride on them. From the 415 to the globe. Dance like it's 92, let's go. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day. I said bounce with it, slide with it. 92 vibe, let's ride with it. I said hey, okay. Dance like it's 92 all day.
Welcome back to DPE Takeover Radio. Caller, you are on the air.
Yo, can I hear the new Reezy?
Rashad, I got you. The new Reezy coming up. Sit back, take a shot of cognac, lay the top down, and ride out. New Reezy the Life coming up now on DPE Takeover Radio.
I'm in the Silverado, switch it up to the Lambo. She wanna get it poppin' like a nigga is Rambo. She wanna give me samples like we walking through Costco. Been in a bit of fit for Reezy, there's no Roscoe. Clip bottles, got me on wobble, hoppin' Diablo. Red lights stick like the green, don't try to follow. Model, got my money up, no lotto. Baby Bobby, what she cop, my plane headed to Cabo. Spread it like a taco, I put beef in the middle. Me metaphorical reels, they pay me 1,000 fiddles. A little, I need a kilo that moves at its own place. Blessed from the game, from the bay, I hail ace. Taste for a little bit of fame to go crazy like Smokey off of AD Blood on Friday. Amazed what your boy Rizzy say, I'll call plays. Give me the mic, I'm taking DPE up all the way like. It be the money, it be the hoes. They got me in this life I chose. And I can't stop now, I'm pushing a hard mile. Cause me and Brooke have never been close. So I'm gon' grind, baby, and I'm gon' shine. Cause you ain't got yours, don't hate on mine. Stop being late and try to be on time. Be on time, still wouldn't get you there before me. You bum niggas is dumb niggas geeking off thee. Go get your own dollars. You wanna plot on me? Don't holler at a bitch till you heard she easy. Man, a bitch better move mountains to please me. Man, a bitch better carry fountains and feed me. Cause I'm the type of nigga when I leave, she needs me. And use a broke nigga waiting on her check. Begging for a couple hundred, then demand respect. Get your life in check, get your hustle right. Make it mean on the block or get a 9 to 5. Stop hating on the next nigga getting his guap. Why you playing mad and he out there running the block? Why you think about one pass and she didn't wanna talk to a nigga in the hood smelling like asphalt? Then you call her a bitch, I guess it makes you feel better. Then she walks straight to me and has me all the chatter like. It be the money, it be the hoes. They got me in this life I chose. And I can't stop now, I'm pushing a hard mile. Cause me and Brooke have never been close. So I'm gon' grind, baby, and I'm gon' shine. Cause you ain't got yours, don't hate on mine. Stop being late and try to be on time. Be on time, still wouldn't get you there before me. If you believe you sell a cheese, a lot of times we don't believe where we came from. I didn't mean to make you wait this long, but you can't rush greatness. Let's get this clear. I wasn't the first one to show you this grown man shit, but after Deuce Pay showed up, shit ain't never been the same since. Let's go. It be the money, it be the hoes. They got me in this life I chose. And I can't stop now, I'm pushing a hard mile. Cause me and Brooke have never been close. So I'm gon' grind, baby, and I'm gon' shine. Cause you ain't got yours, don't hate on mine. Stop being late and try to be on time. Be on time, still wouldn't get you there before me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the remix. Oh yeah, yeah. Look, well you know we had to run it back. I took the ball and ran with it like a running back. And now we gearing up, we about to bring the summer back. I've been scarred, been bruised, yeah I'm done with that. Rapping for the Lord, so it come with that. Outside with it, let me repeat it. This time here with my brother, he on the remix. Put on the full armor of God, devil be scheming. Straight from Ephesians, I got peace, shout out to Jesus. I'ma bring the jam. God told me he gon' ride for me. Word to Hummer Vans. Thought I was cooked, but he giving me another chance. And this what happens when the sinner meets the son of man. I'm top tier, they pop pills, I drop real. And I'ma stand on it when I say that my God real. Even when he changed the message, boy, I drop hit still. And when the devil come to kill, man, I will not fear. Because I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. That my God, he my champion. Any weapon from the get me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it. Like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. That my God, he my champion. Any weapon from the get me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it.
The serpent is what the sword slaughter. They gon' try to stop the blessings, but that motivate us to go broader. I clean the flesh like a building porter. I stand on faith, my soul is like brick and mortar. This is fruit in the physical. I sell love, peace, joy, and patience. Kingdom residuals. I accumulate. I'm feeling real good, cause we all got breath. Who are you to hate? I got favor on my lawn. Blessed with the virtuous baddie. You seen her like John. Righteous is a new drip. Start a wave like cruise ships. Wetter than cool whip. Cause my sins washed. I was parched and my thirst been quenched when I sipped my living God. I was dead, now my life's charged. His name is I am, your territory he'll enlarge.
I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. That my God, he my champion. Any weapon from the get me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' handle it like you don't know my Lord. That my God, he my champion. Any weapon from the get me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. That my God, he my champion. Any weapon from the get me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it like
you keep throwing, you keep throwing blame. It's a remix. You keep throwing blame. Bet that bell won't swing my way. Telling me what I do wrong. A list of complaints I see, but you gon' eat those words you say. Turn me off, then turn me away. Blindsided from my munching. Your true colors came in waves. Thought I found you what I was missing. See, you get so defensive. No, you never listen. Your mind's in the distance. Triggers got me reminiscing. You steady with the mind game, but ain't gon' put that on me. I see you steady with the mind games, but ain't gon' put that on me. I've been trying to take the ride, take time, but you got pain that you should see. And I see you steady with the mind games, but you ain't gon' put that on me.
That dumb shit
on me.
Love, let's even the score, you must have lost one. Pitching that you playing for two, I'm really on one. Let's keep it short for the long run. Don't get me started before it's all done. It's up when that call come to me as a woman, I'ma break your shit. If you claim me, that you claim me, better say that shit. Nigga, look, with all I took, you better take that shit. I'm dead ass and that's the crazy shit. Know that I was never for the mini man. Can't feel how you carry on, cause I got hands in plenty, man. Build them up and break them down, you break through, then I'm breaking. I told you I wouldn't play around. You gotta stay up just to stay around. Where you had me is where you lost me. You come shopping this way, then it get costly. I'm on now that you off me. I had to shake that nigga off me. Hey, yo, B, you know me, I'm tired of talking.
You steady with the mind game, but ain't gon' put that on me. see. And I see you steady with the mind games, but you ain't gon' put that on me. On me.
Yeah. I see you steady with the mind games. Got me looking at you sideways, like don't know what's wrong or what's the right way. I'll just give you the right away, like always. Cause you know that you're my baby, and lately you've been acting a little shady. So I'd rather stay out of your way. Cause when you do me wrong, I play the fool, but somehow you prove me right. You do this every time. Oh, don't you ever get tired, cause I'm tired. Like boy bye, so don't try it. No, I ain't buying your mind games.
You steady with the mind games, but ain't gon' put that on me. I see you steady with the mind games, but ain't gon' put that on me. I've been trying to take the ride, take time, but you got pain that you should see. And I see you steady with the mind games, but you ain't gon' put that on me. On me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the world's giving up on the side. We outside with it. Can't believe I'm still alive. I tell them God did it. Overcoming every demon, every lie spit. Devil thought he had me, you would think that I was tired tripping. So you know I'm coming with the heat like it's July with it. 2025 had a little bit of pride to it. I was fighting with the flesh, I had to die to it. Difference between a blessing and a curse that is my doing. You just gotta vibe to it, baby. It's a new year, happy new year. Tell them it's a new you, what it do, yeah. If you stepping out on faith, you deserve a new pair. If it wasn't for his grace, would you even be here? Run on, run through, baby, who cares? He gon' work it out for you, living proof here. Devil out of new Jesus, cutting loose, yeah. Now I'm walking in the truth. Let me introduce, yeah, yeah. I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. Yeah, my God, he my champion. Any weapon from against me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it. Like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like you don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. Yeah, my God, he my champion. Any weapon from against me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it. Like
he said no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I laid it at his feet and at the altar. And anytime I'm feeling weak, I close my eyes and bow my head. Cause we all know he don't play about his daughters. And I ain't never played about my father. Just need a bit more faith to go harder. If he said it, then he meant it. Said he do it and he did it right. So now we really moving smarter. This that feel good music, make you heal good music. This that scene because I'm happy and I still could music. Holy Spirit, feel better than the real good music. When the views don't mean nothing and he still gon' use it. What you know about your faith making you a champion. Almost giving up, but you knew that he would handle it. I'm back and better than he there when no one understands. So name a better friend, I placed it in his hands.
I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like you don't know my Lord. Yeah, my God, he my champion. Any weapon from against me finna cancel it. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it. Like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it baby, I'ma put a dance on it like I don't ever gotta worry about it. He gon' handle it like he don't play about me. If he said it, he gon' stand on it like oh my Lord, and my God, he my champion. Any weapon thrown against me finna cancel. Two-stepping, baby, I'ma put a dance on it like.
All right. Man, it's been a great couple of days. We just came back from our episode with Susanna B, so shout out to her. We are here, everyone. This is welcome to the Raw Zone. And like I said to Josh in the text message, I was playing both videos. I played both videos because he's probably texting me right now to tell me I have no self control when it comes to promoting Stand on It, which is perfectly fine. But as people that support you, I will keep playing both videos. So just so you know, the stand on it video is out, as well as the visualizer for the remix with Zaire. So make sure you check both of those out and follow at Josh Banton everywhere. At Josh Banton. But we're here. It's your homegirl, Ivy, Katie, whatever you want to call me. Just talk to me nice because we are here. It's welcome to the Raw Zone. You can catch us everywhere on our website, www.rawzonenyc.com. Make sure you tap in everywhere, Rawrrzone Media, and of course, subscribe on our YouTube. You can catch us at our radio homes of Fabulous 94.5 The Hits, Tuesdays 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Pulse 82.3 FM, and Fridays on the Evening Rush Radio Network. Shout out to all of our independent homes spreading the good music and all of your favorite jams. Please follow them and tell them Katie K sent you. Let me introduce you to our sponsors for the Give Back and Welcome to the Raw Zone. Future Proof Music School Creativity meets industry mentorship, founded by top producers like Prototype. Future Proof is changing the game when it comes to music education. This isn't your typical online course. You get personalized training, live workshops, and direct feedback from industry professionals, and even access to 24/7 AI music coach designed to help you finish tasks faster, smarter, and more efficient. Now, mind you, I'm not saying, and we're not saying here at the Raw Zone that AI is going to do everything, but it could help teach you a couple of things. Whether you're just getting started or already building your sound, Future Proof gives you tools, guidance, and community to keep leveling up every single day. And the best part is you can start with a free 14-day trial and flexible monthly plans so you can learn as you go. Remember, hit them up, follow them at Futureproof Music School and Futureproof Your Sound. Tell them KDK sent you. Whew. This Saturday, it is our Road to the Give Back kickoff. I am so excited. We are in our ninth year of raising awareness for the Sarcoma Foundation of America. This is something that is bigger than just music. This is a community for us. We raise awareness and we're giving back not only to the Sarcoma Foundation but to our artists itself. On Saturday, May 30th, Ivy Productions alongside Rockview Entertainment proudly present The Road to the Give Back live at Sanger Hall in Sunnyside, Queens, 4820 Scummon Avenue. This special night is part of our Give Back for Sean initiative, raising awareness for the SFA. For people that don't know what sarcoma is, it is a hidden cancer that affects 1% of the adult population, but yet makes 15% of juvenile cancers. It affects the bones and the soft tissues in the body. This means it often receives far less funding and awareness than most other forms of cancer. This is why events like our Give Back matter so much. Every ticket, every donation, and every share helps keep awareness alive and keeps families impacted by this disease. We've got an incredible lineup for the night featuring performances by Novel Rue, Thought Provoker, CZK, Amanda Elgin. Our sponsor, Flow So Righteous, will be doing spoken word. Mark Will, MC Powerful, Amanda Elgin, who's our sponsor, will be there. Hosted by myself, Kind of Rap, DJ Ace of Spades. We have Alonzo Phillips coming to speak about his sarcoma journey, and candidate for Assembly 34 District, Mr. Brian Romero, will be in the building talking about giving back and, of course, his platform for the Assembly election that's happening on June 23rd. Uh, 15 advance tickets, more at the door. Guys, please, if you can't support and you can't come out, don't. We also have a GoFundMe link. Please donate to our GoFundMe. Every dollar gets us closer to our $10,000 goal. I understand I slacked over the years, but we're gonna make this goal before 10. I'm just saying. Whew. Let me put this back now. I'm really excited because this is the first time I've had a guest come to Welcome to the Rawrrzone, and it brought out, like, my inner nerd comes out, but my nerd came out in the form of, like, reading this book like it was a genuine case study, like I was going back to school all over again. But this time, instead of it being communications or history, it was actually the history of music, and I love it. Our guest tonight wears many hats and wears them exceptionally well. He is a USA Today's best-selling author, international DJ, award-winning professor, keynote speaker, creative coach, and a true student of the music culture. Whew. Through his work, he has dedicated himself to inspire creatives and educating the next generation about the power of artistry and cultural impact. Tonight we're joined by none other than Amani Roberts. Amani is the author of The Quiet Storm, a historical and cultural analysis of power, passion, and the pain of R&B groups, a powerful and deeply researched book that explores the rise, influence, struggles, and legacy of R&B groups from the 1950s to the early 2000s. And we did a poll on that, by the way. Um, the book goes far beyond nostalgia. It examines identity, business, brotherhood, culture, creativity, and the emotional connection between these groups created within the Black community and beyond. In addition to his work as an author, Amani has built an incredible career in education and creative leadership. As a professor, speaker, and coach, he continues helping artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives unlock their purpose while navigating and consistently changing music in the entertainment industry. The future of R&B and storytelling in modern music culture. This is one interview you don't want to miss. So everyone, give a round of applause for Amani Roberts.
What's up?
Pardon my words, and this teleprompter that I thought I could be cool and use a teleprompter today, and that failed miserably, but it's okay.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me.
First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to sit with you. Thank you for allowing me to annoy you this last month with questions.
It wasn't an annoyance. I love it. I love the interest.
It was very interesting because you kept saying, "Did I find the Easter egg?" And I think that's what really had me pushing more. I'm like, I couldn't find it until I saw, like, the technicolor aspect when you bring it up, and then you were also talking about the rise of television in those times. I'm like, I made the connection. I was like, yes.
There you go. Well done.
It only took me about 30 days. It's okay though.
It's okay.
So for those that are here in the Rawrrzone, I know I gave a very lengthy introduction on you, but tell us in your own words, who is Amani Roberts?
Amani Roberts, a DC native, so I love my DC things, go music, sports teams, mambo sauce. Based in Vegas right now. Love being a music business professor. I love a good pancake, and just happy to be here.
Now, pancakes with chocolate chip or plain pancake?
Just a regular buttermilk pancakes. I love it.
Okay. Because a lot of people tell me if I don't like it with chocolate chip, it's blasphemy. I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of sugar.
It is too much sugar, so we got to at least, pace ourselves.
How are you feeling today? We always go through just a quick check-in because, mental is wealth.
Yeah. No, I feel good. Just relaxed. The semester just ended really much last week, end of last week. So it's been a couple weeks, and so just kind of recovering. So I feel good.
You really have such a body of work here. What made you really? I know you said this started for something you started in school for yourself. What made you really want to expand on it and turn it into something for the world to see?
Well, as I was doing the research in school, because I went to Berkeley College of Music for my master's degree, I just really love the topic, and I saw there was a lot of opportunity to take it further than a thesis. And my advisors also gave me the same advice. And so once I started digging into it, I said, okay, well, let's do it, because it's, as you held it up, it's a thick book, so it took a lot of time and effort. Not only with, yes, and you can see just, if you turn it the other way, you can see how thick it is, so people can see, like, there you go. And the pictures, like, I'm sure you noticed, like, the pictures, the graphics, the charts, like, it's just thorough.
499 pages, including the resources, the why did everything happen afterwards, everything there.
Yeah. So 500 pages. So that's just why I love R&B music. I love R&B groups. I grew up with them, so that's just my way of giving back, putting something down in history so people can't forget.
I really did learn a lot from this because I think like I said, the first thing that popped out to me was because I was always a Smash Mouth fan. So when All Star came from You Baby from the Ronettes, I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. So you got to go back and listen to it so you can see what were some of the things that surprised you, like your top 5 surprises.
I did notice that you didn't mention, because one of the first R&B groups I ever heard, and that was because of Beverly Hills 90210, was Color Me Bad, and I feel like that didn't get touched on, so that was something I noticed. But I feel like that's such a wide spectrum as far as the 90s, because some of it, like NSYNC did their own version of what they considered pop R&B, and then you see people like Color Me Bad. So I was like, I can understand why they weren't here, but
well, when you look at the algorithm, it's based on record sales, Grammy nominations, Billboard Hot 100 hits, and notable performances. And the 90s is a tough decade to get in. Like, there were so many good groups that, so we couldn't have them all. So between the top 10 or 11 and honorable mention, they were probably pretty close to, missing the cut. There's always a group we could have added, but yeah. You're not the first person that's asked about them.
And then it's not more so that I was surprised over certain samples, because I've seen like certain groups were like samples for Tupac, for Jay-Z. What I was surprised about is to see, and maybe that's because of my lack of knowledge in early R&B, but the people that we see that were mega superstars like Diana Ross and they were originally in earlier groups, and it kind of, I love now understanding their evolution and how that changed musical history.
Absolutely. Yeah, Diana Ross, the Supremes,
Lionel Richie,
and the Commodores. You had a bunch of artists that came from, I'm trying to think, a couple of people came from the Temptations. Teddy Pendergrass was in Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Like, the list just goes. Of course, you have New Edition. Then you have like Bobby Brown, Ralph Tresvant. You have Johnny Gill. So it just continues to be a trend. It started way back in the day. But yeah, those are, and there's also like Jimi Hendrix. He used to play with the Isley Brothers. Most people don't know that. So there's so many branches of music that reach out that would surprise you.
and I never realized how many actual R&B groups there were.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, and so many that weren't even mentioned that were there, that started and ended. There's probably, and I think in that book we specifically cover probably close to 100 between the honorable mention and the chapters, and there's at least 5, 6, 10 times as much. There's so many out there.
So how were you able to weed it out, especially when it was hard to put the honorable mentions?
Just used our like little formula where we've put in how many Billboard Hot 100 hits they had. And remember, when I say Billboard Hot 100, That's the main charts. That has every genre in it. So you put them in there, notable performances, Grammy nominations and wins, and then record sales. So you add all that together, you wait it out, and the cream would always rise to the top.
When we talk about the name of the Quiet Storm, it goes beyond nostalgia because also the Quiet Storm radio station, but it really documents emotional, cultural, the business impact of R&B groups. What was the moment that really made you realize that what you're doing is more than just something that is going to be discussed in like casual music circles?
I think I realized that once I had people in the music industry kind of pause back, you know what, you're right. I never really thought about it. Or they just really kind of paused, were really introspective and kind of gave me word, encouragement. And we're like, wow, like this is a deep topic that no one's covered. And so that's when I really realized it was more than just writing a book based on my thesis, that it's really, really important part of culture. That's why I'm trying to spread the word.
In your research, what did you discover about the relationship between Black culture community and the success of the R&B groups during their peak eras?
Very closely tied. Back in the day, we used to have record stores in the community. So people would go there to meet the artists for meet and greets, buy the music. So it's very close related. Then we had like African American media, Ebony, Essence, Jet, Vibe magazine, that were really, really intent and focused on promoting these R&B artists, R&B groups. And so it was just all kind of very closely knit and it fed off each other. That's why once some of these publications went away, and once the record stores went away and closed, it just really, really hurt this genre specifically, because that was the main kind of earned media outlet where people could get the music, learn about it, meet the artists. It just went away and it hasn't come back in the same way that it was in the past.
Do you feel like though, with the way that, because I saw last year, especially like with J. Cole, and just certain things in hip hop, they brought back like the old school way of promoting. So bringing back the CDs outside, bringing back the actual appearances. You don't think the same could happen for R&B groups?
I think you'd have to, that's a good step. But we have to remember that, there used to be over 8,100 record stores, 8,100 record stores across the country. That's now down to less than 2,000. They keep closing. And so when you lose that many opportunities for people to consume music and purchase it, it's a challenge. Now, I know that some digital platforms have taken its place, but that's different. It's different than actually touching, feeling, meeting an artist. So I think you factor in that. And then, people used to get, I think it was 8,200 monthly, 8,200,000 monthly or weekly subscribers to Ebony, Essence, Jet, and Vibe at their peaks. For all that to go away, now Essence is still here quarterly in print, but the rest have gone away. They have digital versions, but it's not the same. It was just like a special moment in time. And until we learn how to duplicate the exposure and the marketing for the groups, it won't ever get back to the way it was.
See, I feel like we're slowly making our way there. And maybe because I got way too excited when Kaylani started doing the meet and greet pop-ups.
Yeah.
And then the way everyone jumped to go see that, I felt like that was like the revitalization, not just for like R&B, but just music as a whole, where you can go somewhere again. I think ever since we now are 6 years post pandemic, I feel like maybe everyone is slowly coming down, being comfortable again, especially because it, it, everything digital is costing more than it is to go in person now.
Sort of. I think, Kaylani, first of all, I love Kaylani, so I'm glad you mentioned her. I think the song "Folded," that song's gonna go down. It's probably one of her best songs she's ever done, and she has a lot of catalog already out there. But if Kaylani's doing it, just imagine if SZA did it, Her did it, Leela James did it, Luke James did it. Like all these artists do it, because if you think about it, during its peak, every single group would do meet and greets and do things across the country. So it was just like, whether it was Boys to Men, SWV, 112, Destiny's Child. So it's a good start that Kaylani's doing, but we wanted to do it 20, 30 times what she's doing all at once. And then you'll kind of see the impact and just the power that the groups had.
What was the first artist you actually had that type of experience with growing up?
I would say it was probably New Edition. New Edition growing up, that was probably the experience, meet and greets. I went to the meet and greet, was too scared to go in, so my dad took me home. But that was the first experience, like with that, a meet and greet at a local store. I think it was Waxy Maxie's, which is an old school record store from back in the day when I was in DC. And yeah, that would be the first experience.
My first ever meet and greet experience, I got to see Omarion when he split off from B2K and he did the O album, and I was like, I had gotten the autograph and I had to be no more than like 15 in the middle of Queen Center Mall. I think the last time they had something like that big, like within the last like 15 years, is when they had A Boogie over there.
Yeah. So you see, have they had it since? We don't know.
Your subtitle references power, passion, and pain of R&B groups. Can you break down what each of these words represent to you and how they show up through music history?
Okay, so passion. When you think about passion, like in R&B groups, you got to really start like James Brown. He was back in the 50s, had his own group, and so he just shows you the passion on stage and all of that. And then you continue. I'm trying to think about other groups that just showed an immense amount of passion, but they come to mind right away. James Brown. And then if we think about pain and artists that sing about pain, like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, I mentioned them before, but If You Don't Know Me By Now, I mean, that song right there. You had some other groups that were talking about pain in terms of civil rights, like the Impressions in the 60s. And then I'm trying to think about pain, Can You Stand the Rain, Boys to Men. Not Boys to Men, Can You Stand the Rain, New Edition, End of the Road, or It's So Hard to Say Goodbye, Boys to Men. Like you think about that's the passion, pain, and power. Power, Everyday People, Sly and the Family Stone. Temptations had lots of songs about power. Destiny's Child had a lot of songs about power. Diana Ross and the Supremes. So you see where all these groups are singing about it, the power, passion, and pain. But primarily, most of the groups, all the groups had their signature like ballad. And that's when they're talking about like pain, love, heartbreak, things like that. So that's kind of how you fit and categorize the groups into whether they're the passion or their power or pain. You'll still see like whether it be Zoom, Commodores talking about pain. You had Kool and the Gang. They were more like passion, celebration, things like that. So you think about every group that's in there, you can put them in a certain song they have in terms of the category. Ready for the World, Let Me Love You Down, passion and pain. So we could just go on and on.
How do you keep all of these facts in your head? I'm trying to keep up. New Edition, Impressions.
Well, I've talked about it a lot. And then as we're talking, Jagged Edge, Gotta Be. Like that's a classic. That's a classic ballad from late 90s. That's like, Gotta Be. That's about pain right there. They had, I've studied it so much and I lived it and I use the songs in mixtapes. So I know it and I've experienced it. So it's like part of me. It's part of like my blood. So metaphorically speaking.
We've seen the industry move from artist development to the algorithm-driven visibility. Do you feel the lack of artist development today is hurting music quality and longevity?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think that we look back at history. Like you see like TLC. I got to get the right number. I think they had like 5 or 6 albums, 5 albums, I think, that were thorough classic albums. Boys to Men's had 9 or 10. You have other groups like they just had album upon album. And it's not that they were mail-ins. These albums were platinum albums, successful. I always love to share this fact. Look at the Isley Brothers, the only group in history to have hits in 6 straight decades. That's amazing. That I don't think that ever will be done again. It's crazy, and they're still touring. You look at like there's only one R&B group, male R&B group in history to have diamond sales for an album. Just one. That's Boyz II Men. And that was for their album 2. Now, Cooley High Harmony, their first album, that one actually is closing in on getting to diamond. It's over 9 million streams. Diamond is 10 million or more. Then there's only 2 female groups in history in the US to have diamond sales for R&B. 2 groups history, not just R&B, in history. One is the Dixie Chicks. They hit it twice. And one is TLC. So when you look at just the quality and how it took them to get there and stay there, and then you look at like some groups started in the 60s. My favorite group, like the Whispers, one of my favorite groups. They released their first song in 1964. It took them 23 years to get their Billboard Hot 100 top 10 hit, Rock Steady. That is a pure fact of, first, resilience on their part, dedication, and they just had to develop and change and morph. So that's the ultimate example of how in the past A&R and artist development was a thing. Nowadays, you can go viral on TikTok in October. You get a song on the charts in January, and by May, people have forgotten about you. You're out the industry because you couldn't tour live and you couldn't produce a whole album. It's very different.
So now that you say that, for those that don't know, what qualifies? We could start with what qualified back then for them to get on the R&B groups to get on the Billboard chart versus how can artists now get qualified?
Yeah. So back then it was based on record sales, and it was based on like radio airplay. So record sales and radio airplay in general. That's what it was based on back then. Nowadays, it still goes with sales, streaming, radio airplay. They have a different ratio that they use, and it's changing. Like, for example, now YouTube is not giving them access to the data, so YouTube streams are taken out. It keeps changing. But now it's more like streams. And nowadays, now the rules change. Sometimes you can bundle album sales with concert sales, and it'll help. So it's a little bit grayer now, where back then it was a little bit more straightforward. So that's how back then to now. It's still, generally speaking, 500,000 sales, I put in quote, to get gold, 1 million for platinum, and then 10 million for diamond.
I was always curious about that.
Yeah.
So not only did the algorithm change everything, people became TikTok famous, but we also seen like a radical change as far as song format. You have artists like Capella Gray who mastered the art of a minute 30 songs. How is that also taking away the emotional depth and storytelling, especially for R&B artists?
It takes it away. Absolutely. Like if you think about some of your favorite R&B songs for back in the day, they had an intro. Sometimes they had a prelude where they'd be talking first. Then you have the song. Then you have a postlude. I remember Babyface would do that. Keith Sweat would do that. There were some good interludes and postludes on TLC's albums. You'd have the intro, a verse, a chorus, another verse, a chorus, maybe even a bridge, and then the outro. Nowadays, you start with the verse, or you start with the chorus, verse, chorus, you out. So it really lessens within one single song the ability to tell a story. Also, usually in R&B groups, the whole album would tell a story from start to finish. I'll never forget Jodeci's first album. The first side, the first 5 or 6 songs was all slow jams. They had Forever My Lady, they had You and I, they had Stay, and then the backside was all fast songs. I remember I first kind of recognized that concept. I think it was Mary Jane Girls. I think Rick James produced that, and he had like All Night Long and some of the down-tempo songs on one side, and then he had the party side. And that was a similar concept, and so it tells stories. Nowadays, you have some artists that do a good job, like Taylor Swift. She does a great job telling a story throughout an album. Her song's a little bit longer. Kehlani is also doing well with that too. Jasmine Sullivan's another one who tells some great stories throughout the album, and the songs are longer. But generally speaking, our attention spans are so short now, people don't want to sit through it. However, I do think you'll see a shift in that, and people will maybe give songs more time to breathe. And even some of, Bruno Mars, his song's 3 or 4 minutes, but people might have a little bit more patience because they want to hear the story. So depending on the artist and you like, they could take more time to tell their story.
I love Bruno Mars and the Silk Sonics, though. You mentioned them quite a lot in the book. What are other R&B acts right now that's catching your attention? Because I don't want to say groups because there's not many, unfortunately.
Yeah. Olivia Dean, she's catching my attention. Like I mentioned before, Jasmine Sullivan always has my attention because I think she's one of the best singers of our current generation. PJ Morton, now he does a lot of work with Maroon 5, but he has my attention. I'm trying to think, like Mayetta, she kind of sings a lot of R&B, crossover to hip hop. She has my attention. Leela James. Let me think who else. Of course, Kehlani, we talked about her. Coco Jones. I'm trying to think about some more.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about some more of the male artists. I always pay attention to Chris Brown, Tank. I mean, they're been around a little while, but they're still R&B to its core. And there's some newer artists that I'm just discovering. My students will teach me about artists that I need to kind of bone up on it and figure out and learn because they're out there. You just don't hear them on the radio as much. Ella May, I keep attention to her. Boot Up, I think that's another song out there. Going to end up being a classic once we look back 20 years from now. So there's certain songs that are out there that kind of work and get to play and get placed. And I still have a lot to learn myself because there's some newer artists that have been around, but I still don't know a lot about them. But they're true R&B, so I'm a fan. So I'm going to support them, learn about them, play their music. So that's who comes to mind, generally speaking. Of course, you have the mainstays like Beyonce. You just always watch her. But some of the more unknown artists that I've been looking at, even my guy Leon Thomas, Mutt, that's a good one too. The remix, I love that one.
See, I remember him from Victoria. So when I started seeing him actually doing music, I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I mean, Money Long. So she's phenomenal because she's been writing hits for decades. And she wrote for like Kesha and a lot of other artists. And love her album. I think her song 30s, that's one of my favorite songs by her. It's not played a lot, but Money Long is one there too. Like Victoria Monet. Like, been writing for a while, but now getting her props for being a solo artist. So that's just a little bit of a list. I mean, there's so many, and we have our classic ones too, but those who come to mind.
How do you feel about groups like Frequency that are coming out from the newer reality shows that are coming out?
So I'm all for anyone who's like an R&B group. I just want to see them have sustained success and sustained commitment. The challenge with a lot of these groups that are from reality shows, they don't stay together very long. And when you compare them to groups from the past, most groups from the past that were successful grew up in the same area, went to the same high school, junior high school, or they went and were in the same church. So they were from the same area, they grew up together, they just kind of grew up together, so they are more apt to stay together because they're loyal to each other. And I think you see that with like all the classic groups. They meet in the church, they meet in school, they maybe get a bunch of 4 or 5 members, someone drops off, they fill in, and they're off and running. Nowadays, you have these reality shows where you're taking people from different areas of the world, putting them together, and they might have known each other for 6 months, 9 months. And, if you get in a disagreement with someone you've only known for less than a year, you're less apt to try to work it out than someone you grew up with. It's just human nature. So I think that's the challenge with these current groups that come out of like reality shows.
As both a professor and a DJ, you operate in 2 completely different worlds, academia and nightlife and music culture. How do these 2 spaces influence each other in your life and career?
As a professor, I learn as much from my students as I teach them. They keep me up to date with platforms, technology that's cutting edge, that's working, music that they're paying attention to, because they know about the good music first. They know about it first, so I learn as much from them. And then it translates over to the DJ life, because then I can play music that appeals to all ages, parents, the kids, people younger than them. So it kind of fits hand in hand. It allows me to stay young. It allows me to stay educated, but then I can teach them what they want to know about the industry, so they understand how it works. So if they're advising artists, they know what to advise the artist. If they're artists themselves, I can help them kind of find their way.
What do you feel like your students and emerging creatives struggle with both mentally and creatively?
I would say a resilience. I think the generations that we see currently, we call them the microwave generation. They're used to kind of just like experiencing success with very few obstacles. And the music industry, there's going to be obstacles every day of the week. And just have to toughen them up. In addition, the generation that's coming through school now or just graduating over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, they went through something at a young age that was very, very rare, the pandemic. So they went from being in school in a social environment to being isolated for 2 or 3 years some places. And when they came back, it was very different. They had graduated, so they missed a lot of landmark occasions. Like imagine if you miss your prom, your graduation. It's just parts of life that are memorable that are gone. So I think that we have to keep that in mind. There's no excuse for them, but we just have to understand that they learn things and consume content and digest information differently than maybe we did when we grew up. So always keep that in mind. And, we just have to work with them to be prepared to experience the highs and lows of life. Life is not a straight road. There are lines, ups and downs. So I think that's our responsibility to prepare them and make sure that we can be there with them when they have the tough times, they can stick it through and remain an artist.
So a lot of the younger generation, and I say this because I work in a community center inside a high school. So we service kids in the Bronx from second grade all the way to 12. Um, I love all of my kids to death. They are my little poop heads. Because I told my mother I'd stop cursing about them sometimes. Um, but they got into Michael Jackson. Love that for them because I am so tired of hearing Lil TJ and all of these other acts. Because I can't even get sturdy. I'm sorry, my knees hurt. But do you feel like they know the hit? And I'm not saying just kids alone, but they don't necessarily understand the history behind it. Why is it so important for people like yourself, like myself, to keep uh preserving the music history for them?
Just it's important so they know where it comes from. Like they shouldn't. They need to know that certain songs they love, like I mentioned, Bruno Mars, he interpolates a lot of songs. Like if you look at Uptown Funk, that's an interpolation of "Oops Upside Your Head" by the Gap Band. They need just to understand the history that that's not an original rhythm or feel. He's interpolating that. They need to understand just some of their favorite songs, whether it be hip hop, pop, R&B, are sampling some of these classic songs from back in the day. Just how you discovered the Smash Mouth sample, the Chantel's, the same thing. Like Sabrina, they love Sabrina Carpenter. Well, her song Bad Kim is sampling or interpolating Tamia So Into You. If you listen to them, you can hear it. So they just have to understand the history. And most artists nowadays are sampling for two reasons: to kind of keep that old feel, but also to pay tribute to the artists that they loved growing up. And so if they understand sampling and where it comes from and how it's making old songs new and new songs have that old classic feeling, that's the goal right there. Because once they understand samplers, I think that's the best way to teach the younger generation about history of music, is to show them the breadcrumbs in terms of a sample, their song, a sample, and the original song.
I would love some innovative ways to learn how to teach that to kids.
Yeah, I think what I've seen work well is trivia. Kids love trivia, so they love trivia. They love playing games. You can gamify it, and puzzles. You can put together certain puzzles, and that will help them kind of figure it out, and they'll see it. You play games, like you play snippets of a song and say, okay, what song is this? Do you know where it comes from? And let them kind of do the research, and they'll get it, and they'll remember it because they've created something. So I find that gamification and puzzles work well with the younger generation.
What made you choose the title The Quiet Storm for the book?
For several reasons. First, the radio format that I listened to the most as a kid was Quiet Storm, WHUR, Howard University Radio, 96.3. They would have love songs and dedications on, and primarily it was R&B groups, R&B acts. And so, I'm a romantic at heart, so always like, oh, you want to call in, dedicate a song to a girl I was trying to holler at? And so that's where I initially fell in love with the format. The format actually grew to be one of the biggest radio formats at nighttime across the world from like the mid 70s to the late 90s. So that's kind of where I got that, and I grew up listening to it. Second, Smokey Robinson has a song called The Quiet Storm. And so that was also fed into it. And then when you look at what happened to R&B groups, instead of saying like it's hidden in plain sight, what happened to them in terms of their disappearance was like a quiet storm. It was a storm that no one realized that was happening. And once everything happened, people like don't even realize it hit them. So it was like a quiet storm. So those are kind of the three reasons for the title that all fit the central around the book.
If we could create a perfect modern R&B supergroup from today's artists, who would you put together and why?
So I think I would have like Jasmine Sullivan as one of the lead singers. I would have her because she can play the instruments, she can sing, she can write phenomenal music. I would have SZA together also because she could do the same thing and she's got the touch. And then the wild card would be someone like a Leela James in there who just can sing and just, she's got it. So that would be my dream kind of super group for young ladies. For the guys, I have to think about the guys, but I have to think like we have Wanye Morris's sons. They're a good one there, but I like someone like Luke James. I love his voice. I love what he does. He can sing. I have to think about who I would pair with him. Probably to get like a trio. I think about that because you need someone with good like soprano, high notes, someone to fill the mid range, maybe a tenor too. So let me get back to you on the guy group, but the girl group I have worked out because I've been thinking about that.
So I'm not gonna lie, I love Luke James, but I really feel like, and I'll still say it up to this day, they did him an injustice. The way that Lee Daniels canceled Star, they did not let us know the end of his storyline.
Yeah, maybe it'll be continued in a movie or or a Netflix show.
They see, but when they canceled Star, it was right at the height of the pandemic, right? And at that same time, Jussie Smollett did what he did.
Right.
Being that, Empire was already on the verge of cancellation because it was in its last season. I guess whatever it trickled down and they said, screw it, we're going to cancel Star too.
Unfortunate, but let's hope that they bring back a similar show in a couple years and it can catch our attention again.
And I would love if they do that. And I feel like even just BET in general does not have the same quality of black entertainment that it once had, where it was producing these acts.
Well, remember BET, you had Donnie Simpson Video Soul. That was like a legend on the network for a long time. And that's another way where we learned about all these R&B groups to get to see them interviewed and get to see their videos. And then once, that goes away, that's another way where people you just forgot or didn't see about groups. Arsenio Hall, the same way that show comes. They would feature, a lot of hip hop, R&B acts, interview them, have them sing on the show. That's like on TV. That's like earned media. And then you had like In Living Color, big show in the 90s. They canceled too. That's where J-Lo was discovered. And so you kind of Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx, all these stars were discovered on these shows. They go away. Nothing replaces them. Soul Train goes away. Nothing replaces them. Well, then it's harder and harder to get exposure to these groups and these acts, and they have less earned PR.
It's such a shame. Now just reading this and then thinking back on our childhood and the things that we used to see, and see that it's not like that no more.
Yeah, no. So and a lot of people say, okay, well, groups are just dead, but I disagree because K-pop is killing it. So what is K-pop doing that we can adopt and learn from so we can really bring back the strength and the longevity of groups? Because when you look at K-pop, they're copying the R&B group playbook. Blackpink is following the TLC playbook. BTS followed the New Edition playbook. Look at their videos and then look at If It Isn't Love's video. Like, just look at it. So they're doing something that's working. Credit to them, credit to that genre. How can we learn from them so we can try to build back up our strength? And when I say we, I'm talking about R&B groups.
So we took a poll on the Rawrrzone stories today, and I want to ask you before I reveal what it came out, but which group had the bigger impact, TLC or Destiny's Child?
TLC.
Why?
Because without TLC paving the way in terms of their videos, in terms of their song lyrics, in terms of how they released their music, their costumes, how they took creative risks, I don't think Destiny's Child would have had as big an impact as possible. Like TLC is one of the only groups, I always say only, but someone can fact check me, that had a #1 song where in the song, the lyrics were about domestic abuse and HIV/AIDS, and it still went to #1. I'm speaking about Waterfalls. They spent a lot of money on that video. That's one of the best videos of all time. That's good. So Destiny's Child, they had big impact also, but nothing quite on that level. And so that's why I say without TLC taking the risk and all that, there'll be no Destiny's Child. Now, on the flip side, if I was going to create a course or do a case study on the highs and lows of the music business, it would be on TLC because they were extremely successful, yet they've claimed bankruptcy twice. They didn't own their name. They had to pay $3 million to get their name back, $1 million for each letter. They didn't get their songwriting credits, their publishing. There was lots of things they decided or happened that really hurt them. And it's all because they just didn't know. No knowledge. They were just from Atlanta, got a deal, signed it, started creating music, and blew up. But that's why I'm so passionate about music education, because if we can get to these artists early on to fill them with the knowledge, then they can make even better decisions and have more long-term money, the mailbox money, as we call it in the music business.
What I like that's happening in New York, and I wish it become the curriculum worldwide, like I'm seeing it in the Bronx right now. Shout out to one of our guests, the Bronx principal. He's opening a Windows of Hip Hop school, which is basically a recording studio for the pretty much elementary and middle school kids to learn the basics of music engineering. You know, and then you have just they're putting the first ever hip hop school in New York. You know, I love that there's more things that are putting it out there so people can learn the music industry.
Yeah.
You know, you had those acts. You even had R. Kelly, who didn't understand how to read for a long time.
Yeah.
And look how well outside of the other endeavors. But
yes, if you just separate his music, he's a genius. Just separated from his music, genius, a legend in the R&B space, in the music space. Yes.
Yeah. If once you separate him from that and think about the bad part of it, was he made such amazing music but just didn't know how to read, and he got taken for a ride.
Yeah, well, you know, the saying is if you want to keep a secret, put it in the book.
My mother tells me to always read the fine print, so I always get paranoid.
Mama, pay attention to mom. She's right. She's right.
Listen, man, these Greek parents, like, I make the joke because, like I said, I learned at a later age about music and everything. But it's so interesting to see because I got my business mind from her, 100%. But just to see like what goes beyond it, because the art of reading the fine print or just looking at a simple contract, everyone is just so quick to sign. Even up to this day, it's crazy.
I agree.
You you also talked about the rise of like the internet and the Telecommunications Act. I was wondering if you could get a little more into that.
Okay. Um, the Telecommunications Act of 1996 was designed to diversify radio. What ended up happening is you had three main companies: Town Square Media, Cumulus Media, and iHeartMedia. They bought up almost all of the radio stations in the United States. As soon as they did that, they went to more of a playlisting format. So you could be in the Bronx, you could be in DC, Miami, Chicago, LA. Generally speaking, across the majority of the stations, you're going to hear the same songs on just a loop, basically. And so that really hurt R&B groups because they grow from their regions where they're from. TLC's from Atlanta, Boyz II Men's from Philly, SWV's from New York, Destiny's Child's from Houston. So these groups would, Shy is my favorite example, they're from DC. So they, and I remember I heard them first on WPGC, DC Home Jams was the name of the show, and that's where they first got played, and then they blew up worldwide. Because then these groups would get back big in their cities and their regions, and then they would expand out because then other cities would hear about them, they'd play it. When you go to playlisting format, there's fewer groups that are played. They also made a shift and played less R&B music, less R&B groups. They played more hip hop. They really focused on pop, EDM. So you notice a lot of stations changed, and that really just hurt R&B groups because we get our momentum from our cities, then our regions, and then the nation. And that Telecommunications Act had the opposite effect as it intended to, and it took away a lot of the opportunity for groups to grow and get known in their regions because it was owned by a corporation, and the board of directors for each of these companies, these media companies, had limited diversity, so they didn't understand R&B as a genre. They didn't understand the music, so they didn't care about it.
What do you think? What lessons from classic R&B groups can modern independent artists apply to their branding, to their teamwork, and their audience connection?
Well, we talked about a little bit of it earlier in terms of meet and greets, just personal relationships with fans. That goes a long way nowadays. I think they could also learn from what some of these groups in the past didn't do well, which is the music business part of the thing. Because if you look at why groups break up, they were basically broke up based on two main reasons. One was money issues, contract money. They didn't feel like they were getting enough money. And number two would be like drug issues, drug related issues. So that was the big reason. So they just can learn lessons from these groups from the past that didn't do well. That's what comes to mind for that.
So what's out of the 100 stories of bands that you've presented here? Apologies. Which story resonated with you the most, and how did writing this body of work change your perspective on music, legacy, and your own creative journey?
So the story that resonated with me the most, I would say, is the Whisper story I shared earlier about how it took them 23 years to get their top 10 hit. The second one would be just how the power of listening. And so when I say that, like, one of the most famous songs in U.S. history and worldwide is Midnight Train to Georgia. There's a story about the Gladys Knight and the Pips where we talk about how that song was made. The songwriter is Jim Weatherly. He used to play flag football with Lee Majors, who was the $5 million man. He calls up Lee Majors one day, and Farrah Fawcett answers the phone. Farrah Fawcett was dating Lee Majors at the time. He's talking to Farrah Fawcett. He's like, "What's going on? What are you up to?" She says, "This weekend, I'm taking a midnight plane to Texas to visit my family." He's listening. His active listening is so in tune. He writes that down, and then he creates Midnight Train to Georgia from that. Gives it to Cissy Houston, Whitney Houston's mother. She sings it as a country song. It does moderately well. Then Gladys Knight and the Pips get a hold of it. They sing it as an R&B song. It becomes one of the top 100 songs in U.S. in history. So I just think that shows the power of listening. Credit to Jim Weatherly. The power of, once again, of taking risks. Gladys Knight and the Pips taking that country song and singing it as a R&B song. And so that's another powerful story that resonated with me. In terms of my legacy or just how working on this project's affected me, it just increased my passion and about R&B music and R&B groups. It was an education on my own. I learned so much. I learned about the history. It taught me the power of samples and how hip hop was way ahead of its time, sampling these groups. The Isley Brothers are one of the most sampled groups in history. And so that's just a genre that continues to be forward thinking and broke rules before there were laws. So, you know, I always think of Biz Marquis' album that didn't get cleared for almost a decade because of samples. So just the innovation from hip hop that they took from R&B, that's another thing that I just think needs to be acknowledged and pretty much celebrated once you get to the legal things. So that's what comes to mind.
If someone watches this interview and feels inspired but afraid to pursue their own creative dreams, what would you want them to hear from you directly?
Well, first I tell them to go to amaniexperience.com/call and set up a call and let me talk to you, because I give free calls. So let me talk to you. Outside of that, I would say just use some of the stories we've shared today as inspiration to let you understand what is possible, because if you never know what will happen if you don't take action. So there's beauty in taking action, because no matter if you fail or succeed, you'll have no regrets. And I think that that's the main simple point I would say, is that we want to take action so you live with no regrets.
So I'm not going to lie. I actually went on your website and did the quiz.
Okay, which group did you get?
I got the Supremes.
Oh, okay. So persistence. So you practice persistence. The Supremes, fun story. They were signed, I think, to Motown in 57, I think. I have to remember the year. They were signed to Motown. And for the first year or two, all they were allowed to do is clap their hands on songs. So think about that. They were already a group. They were only allowed to clap their hands on songs for over a year. Then they were finally allowed to sing backup. Hundreds of songs they were singing backup on. Still, they were already a group, still could not sing their music. Finally, they let them sing their music and release the album. Their first 8 or 9 singles did not do well. They were known within Motown as the No-Hit Supremes. Finally, one of their songs went to 24, and then 11 out of their next 13 songs went to number 1. That hasn't been done since. I want to say, I'll check, but that hasn't been done since. So they practice persistence. So that means that within your life personality, you also are a person that practices persistence.
Yeah, I've gotten that a little bit. Trying to get certain interviews, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people that will say I'm a little bit tenacious in it, where I'll kind of, because it's a journalism. Like I've always loved journalism, so I always just would research it, and then if I had questions, I'd be like, all right, I want to know.
Yeah.
And it's gonna bother me until I find out.
That's good. Don't change. Stay with it.
Thank you so much. What is next for you? I know it's a busy summer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's going on for you after this?
So I think 2 things I'm working on. I always work with musicians who, want a fractional artist manager, someone to help them learn the music business and maybe help implement some ideas and solutions for them. So that's what I work on. And then in terms of the book, I'm going to first turn the book into a trivia game. That's the next project for the next year. And then hopefully get it to be a documentary. And so I'm working on that. That's a longer project because I have to get someone in the industry to kind of co-sign to it. And then we go from there. So those are my 3 kind of big projects. Really, it's the fractional artist managing, coaching artists, working with artists, and turning the book into a trivia game. Those are my 2 big projects.
What do you look for when managing an artist and working with an artist?
Someone who's consistent, someone who takes action and is open to feedback and to learning, because I'm going to teach you. And the goal is that you apply what I'm teaching you because it works. It works for my past clients. It works for artists who I don't even work with. So where we run into trouble is if I'm teaching you and giving you ideas, but you don't implement it, because then we run into roadblocks. And then also just patience, because We work on sync placements where you get your song placed into TV shows, commercials, movies, video games. But that's a long game. That can take a year and a half. But if you're patient and you keep doing the work and building your ecosystem, it will work out. So those are the 3 or 4 things I look for.
So before we close out, do you ever see a happy medium as far as the algorithm and the traditional ways of promoting music?
I think my hope is that people will want to learn and hear from more humans than an algorithm eventually. That might not happen, but that's my goal. Like, they still want to hear what's the DJ going to play, what are the remixes that's going to hear, who are the humans on the radio station that are going to play maybe their favorite songs. So that's my hope. I think you might get a little bit of the pendulum swing back, but we'll see. Because, we're kind of in algorithm focused times where everything we look at is specifically programmed for us. But how are you going to learn or hear about a new song you might not have even thought about before? So that's a tough one. Maybe I'll say. I hope so, but let's see how this algorithm continues to take over our consumption.
Amani, thank you so much for being here with me today. I literally was so excited about this. I literally made sure I had everything ready for you. I'm sorry. I geeked out. I fangirled. I took this book with me to an open mic.
Oh, nice.
Because my friend was shout out to Atlas Rum that made me go out against my will last week or 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
And we went to Single Hall where we do our give back, and they were doing the Troublemakers open mic. And I'm here just reading something, but seriously though, look at this. And then he's like, oh snap, the impressions, the whispers. Then you see like he got excited. He took pictures of the book so he could order it himself.
Yes. Well, thank you for spreading the word. I appreciate it. So
it's great when there's content where it's not just the mind numbing things you see every day.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support, and I can always come back and continue the conversation.
Yes, please. And can we play the game?
Yes. I'll let you know the game. That's the project. That's the game. Yes.
We can pilot it. Listen, we use Jeopardy labs at the school with the kids.
Okay.
You need a Jeopardy labs? I got you.
All right, I'll write it down. I appreciate it.
For now, just tell them where they can find you.
Okay, yeah, like I mentioned before, if there's any musicians or artists that are paying attention or watching and want to talk to me, just go to amaniexperience.com/call. You can set up a free call. I'll talk to you about what's going on, how I might be able to help you and give you some general advice. My socials are Amani Experience on like Instagram and TikTok. And if you use LinkedIn, my full name is Amani Roberts. That's the government name. Just reach out and say hello. And thanks again for having me on the show.
No, thank you once again so much for being here with us. This is Welcome to the Rawrrzone. We will not be live next week, so you can catch this episode as well as our episodes with Susanna B on Fab 94.5, Pulse 82.3 FM, and the Evening Rush Radio Network. Please look at all of our replays. We are on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcast fix. Remember, we are on the road to the Give Back this Saturday, Single Hall. We have the Gorilla Talk podcast coming back hopefully next week. Happy early birthday, Hollywood Ace Bradley. And in usual Rawrrzone fashion, I leave everyone with these very motivating yet funny words of wisdom.
I've got one more thing to say, and it'll only take me a second. I've got 2 words that I want you all to remember. They're very important. And if I leave you with anything, I'm going to leave you with these 2 words. And those 2 words are, I'm Batman.
Good night, guys.